Hello guys, and welcome to the final title guide, which is Gate of the Setting Sun. This one is on the harder side of things. There is an alternative route that I'll link in the description by Seoran, which I do advise doing over this, but if you want to do the normal route, this is what I'd suggest. First of all, your monk will pre-wall, and your DPS and healer will run down the left side to avoid getting combat. You want to pull these infiltrators, and you want to slow them. As the idea is, the infiltrators are those annoying guys that are placing the smoke bombs, placing the armor boss. You pull the boss instantly, send pretty much everything except Lust, and blast the boss. You want the boss to die during this strat before anything happens. What your monk needs to look out for is when the infiltrators come in to send the leg sweep. When you get a bomb, just have the person move out of your stack so neither leg hits you, just as moved there. You see the infiltrators were stunned as we entered. As soon as the boss dies, your DPS just have to go. If there's bombs, just go. You only have to reset. If they die, you just reset. It is what it is. But it's all about your speed of going from A to B in this dungeon. What the monk is going to do for the rest of this dungeon is kite these mobs. Make sure to grab the mobs ahead, unless they might bug out on the bridge and just be annoying to pick up later down the line. And all this is similar to Siege, is the tank is just AFK kiting all this stuff. And the principle of it is that you're going to bring this to the third boss as the second boss dies. It is important to note the amount of time you wait or the amount of times you slow is completely dependent on how fast your group can do the second boss. If they take longer, you need to do more slows than I've done. If they do it faster, you need to do less. The idea is you want the trash to be on top of the boss as you pull the third boss. So at this point I'm going to go, and when I click the gong in the next section, it is going to be stacked, hopefully. Going over to Skokex's view, who's providing me this footage thankfully, I will show you how the DPS and healer should be taken on the second boss. First of all, you need to travel as a group so no one gets randomly meleeed by all these mobs here. You can stun them as you pass, you can fear. Here, ideally you amber so these stay stacked for your tank passing, so it's easier to kite. But the idea is you all arrive at the elevator at around the same time. Be mindful of threat when you set up the third boss. You want someone who's going to live a melee or two, or just the Shaman's Earthly, and you do very little damage until the Earthly's established threat. The Earthly will only have 2 attempts at its threat generating ability, so you want to make sure that it gets a cast off before prey time. Just make sure every single person is outside of the elevator for prey time, outside of melee, and then you will get the bug where he will not do the strafing run. The only other thing is make sure that the boss, when he dies, you are clicking the cannons, and otherwise don't push below 70% for the prey time. Going back to my POV now, I'm going to be walking up to the gong. Here I could have timed it better, but you kill the boss a bit fast I think, but ideally it's within like a second or two you're able to be clicking the gong. So I use my nitro to catch up for being slow, let them click for a second, and what's going to happen is I'm just going to assign kicks on these first guys, pull the boss, and monk sends everything. And ideally you don't have to move straight away here. I know your casters won't be able to do damage, but they are able to cleave off mobs which are outside of the smoke bombs, or even use the high-powered bolt gun to kick more mobs so they stack even tighter for when the smoke bombs do dissipate. Once you've run out of externals and CDs to use, you should really start thinking about kiting most of these mobs. and just finishing off the boss. You do want to finish a boss so the monk can stop kiting everything around like they are. And also you want to be CCing the demolishers really when they're spawning, so you're not getting all the bombs down. Just keep an eye on count at this point, because you do have too many mobs for count, and you should really be starting to send some DPS when there's 1 or 2 mobs left and the monk can finish them. It really is useful if you can send the people early to go finish the last boss. The only tech on this boss really is your brew, or if there's no one else here, the mobs will just run to the people underneath the weak spot. So just make sure you tank these underneath where the Rain of Fires can go, where the Orb can go, to get more stacks, so you can almost guarantee one phase. We do send Lust here as well. I do think it's worth doing if you can't make the push without it, which it's really hard to do. And we have Ascendant for when the weak spot is done, just to make sure the boss dies, as he does actually have quite a lot of health, so having a really good single target CD to go here is good for your group. And otherwise, thank you for watching my 9 out of 9 and good luck. Just another reminder, please go check the description for credit for Scosex, some trading summer boys, and this Seoran video which I recommend doing the strat of instead. I just haven't got around to re-recording this.